Have you ever seen someone touch a dangerous animal and not flinch, or laughed at something horrifying as if nothing mattered? Imagine a world where your brain simply erases fear and shame, leaving you reckless, impulsive, and strangely fearless. It sounds terrifying, but this isn't fiction. It has a name and it's real. And it has a name that might shock you: Bucy Syndrome. You might be thinking, isn't fear a natural part of being human? Isn't shame what keeps us from doing things we know are wrong? And you're right. Most of us experience fear, anxiety, and embarrassment every single day. They guide our choices, warn us about danger, and protect us from harm. But what happens when your brain no longer registers these signals? Millions of people experience strange lapses in judgment or impulsive behaviors without realizing why, and very few ever speak about it. It feels alien. And for those who suffer from this rare neurological condition, the world can seem completely unfiltered, raw, strange, and sometimes terrifying. Psychologists and neurologists call this condition Bucy Syndrome, named after the pioneering researchers Heinrich Klüver and Paul Bucy, who first observed it in the 1930s in monkeys. This syndrome represents one of the most extreme ways the brain can alter human behavior. Imagine a part of your brain responsible for fear, shame, and inhibition simply shutting down. The result? People act without restraint. They touch things they shouldn't. They approach strangers. They show no fear of danger. And the consequences can be as bizarre as they are fascinating. So how does this happen? To understand, we need to look at the brain itself. Fear, shame, and social inhibition largely reside in a structure called the amygdala, deep within the temporal lobe. The amygdala acts like an alarm system, constantly assessing threats and risks, signaling your body to feel fear when something is dangerous. In Bucy Syndrome, this system is damaged, either by trauma, infection, or rare neurological conditions. When the amygdala and connected regions fail, the brain loses its usual warnings. The individual no longer experiences typical fear responses. They may touch hot objects without flinching, walk into unfamiliar or unsafe places, or engage in inappropriate social behaviors without any embarrassment. To the outside world, it can look almost unreal. Imagine a person calmly picking up a venomous snake, or walking alone into a dark alley in the dead of night, completely aware of the danger but feeling nothing. To them, it's not reckless, it's normal. This detachment from instinctive caution is both fascinating and alarming. And it's not just fear that disappears. Shame and social inhibitions often vanish too, leaving people impulsive, sometimes hypersexual, or oddly trusting of strangers. The first documented cases of Bucy Syndrome were observed in monkeys whose temporal lobes had been surgically removed. These monkeys exhibited extreme changes. They were no longer afraid of predators. They explored objects by putting them in their mouths, and they showed unusual sexual behavior even in inappropriate contexts. Later, neurologists observed similar patterns in humans who had temporal lobe damage due to strokes, infections like herpes encephalitis, or traumatic brain injuries. One striking human case involved a man who survived a severe temporal lobe infection. Within weeks, he began showing behaviors that were completely uncharacteristic. He would hug strangers without hesitation, handle dangerous tools carelessly, and exhibit impulsive emotional outbursts without awareness of social norms. His family described him as like a different person. The part of him that felt fear or embarrassment seemed to have vanished entirely. Researchers were fascinated because it provided an extreme glimpse into the brain's role in shaping who we are. Fear, shame, and inhibition, qualities we take for granted, turned out to be essential for human survival and social behavior. And when these mechanisms fail, the results are dramatic, often surreal, and at times heartbreaking. It's important to understand what Bucy Syndrome does not mean. It does not make someone evil or dangerous by default. The absence of fear or shame is not a moral failing. It is a neurological deficit. People affected by this syndrome often retain intelligence, memory, and emotional capacity, but their impulses override the caution signals that normally guide behavior. It also does not mean the person is entirely out of control. With therapy, monitoring, and support, individuals can learn to navigate the world more safely. This is not a Hollywood horror story. It is a rare neurological phenomenon that teaches us something profound. The brain is not just a thinking machine. It is the ultimate regulator of our social instincts, morality, and survival. So why should you care about a syndrome that affects a handful of people worldwide? Because it tells us a deeper truth about the human mind. Fear, shame, and caution are not just inconveniences. They are what define the boundary between safety and danger, between social harmony and chaos. By understanding Kluver-Bucy syndrome, we gain insight into our own impulses. We start to notice how fear shapes our decisions, how embarrassment keeps us in check, and how the absence of these emotions could change everything about human behavior. It forces us to reflect on our own minds. How much of what you do is guided by instinctive caution? How often do you suppress impulses? Because your brain tells you it's unsafe or inappropriate. And could we, in some way, be controlled by the same systems that vanish in this rare syndrome? And the most unsettling part is that the human brain can, under certain conditions, completely erase these primal guides without warning. The part of you that feels fear, hesitation, and shame, the very parts that protect your life and social relationships, can vanish, leaving only raw, unfiltered impulses. The next time you feel fear or embarrassment, remember, your brain is doing more than just thinking. It is guarding you, shaping who you are, and quietly controlling your behavior in ways you may never notice. Kluver-Bucy syndrome reminds us that the line between normal and extraordinary, safe and reckless, is far thinner than we imagine. Subscribe to Psychopedia to explore the mysteries your brain keeps hidden and see what it's really capable of.